are, in fact, living this very rare convergence of cyclic phenomenon. It's changing the way that we live, but nobody's told us that. For the first time, we are globalizing a planet of about 8 billion people, pretty close to 8 billion people right now. What that means is we are pushing together populations of culture, of religions. Different religions are being forced into proximity with one another in a way we never have. The way that women think about men, the way men have been taught to think about women, the color of our skin, all of this, we're being asked to assimilate this massive globalization through the thinking of and the false assumptions of the false science of the past that tells us that we are living in a world where nature's based upon competition. The fundamental rule of nature's competition, we now know that's not true. It's cooperation. We've been taught that we are separate from our world, but we now know that's not true. We're deeply connected with our world as well as our own bodies. When you begin to incorporate the best science of the modern world with the wisdom of 5,000 years of our ancestors, it gives us the evolutionary edge to meet this challenge successfully. We're not going to go back. We're going to globalize. The question is, are we going to have a soft landing or a crash landing when we do it? And I think there's a way that we can come at this gracefully. However, we must change the way that we have been taught to think. We are steeped in a story. You know, Scott Turow, an American author I have a lot of respect for, he says, who are we? But the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves and believe. It's not just what we say, what do we actually believe? Well, you and I, everyone watching, so we are the product of a story. We are steeped in a story that began in the modern world about 150 years ago with the teachings of Charles Darwin, suggesting that the fundamental rule of nature is in fact competition, and that it is through what he called survival of the strongest. Later, it was interpreted survival of the fittest. It's through that we have become successful. You know, and young people say to me all the time, okay, Greg, big deal. You know, 150 years ago, what difference could that possibly make today? And it's a beautiful question, and they're surprised by the answer. Because when they begin to understand that our society today, the foundations of our society were put in place when that thinking was in vogue. So our economic system is based on competition. Our corporate models are based upon competition. The way we share food, water, energy, vital resources, it's all based upon survival of the strongest. And when you globalize 8 billion people, that model is unsustainable. And the reason is it's not true. It's based on false science.